Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 206. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside Mike.
Hey, just Mike today, huh?
My co-host, Mike, I should say.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. It should be like Mike, the guy who watched, 6 hours of TV this week.
That's about right.
Most of it being SnyderCut. Yeah, welcome to the show, everyone. Today we have a very special guest coming up, Mr. Jay Sandlin, to talk about his upcoming horror book with Zenoscope. It's part of the Tales of Terror Quarterly, the anthology horror. It's about H.H. Holmes, so stick around for that. And Chris and I got a lot to talk about this week, so I think we're just going to jump into the thick of it.
I will real quick, because, there's a lot to talk about. I also had a really busy week.
Yeah.
Everybody saw in your podcast feeds that the live stream I did about the Snyder Cut with the people over I Freaking Love Comics is there. Hope you enjoyed it. If you prefer video or you're watching us on YouTube, you can go over to their YouTube and just watch the whole live stream there. We had a lot of fun. And because of that, I won't talk a whole ton about Snyder Cut on here. I'll give my thoughts, but I won't go into as much detail as I did there.
Yeah. I have a few pretty big takeaways and things that I saw. But I mean, overall, I liked Justice League. I mean, I didn't hate on Justice League. I mean, it's a very low bar for me to entertain me with a movie. So we pretty much, anything I'm watching is the best thing I've ever watched at that point in time. So like I watched an episode of Downton Abbey this morning. It was the best thing I've ever watched, But
I really want everyone to know that the 50th anniversary Black Series Star Wars figures hit pre-order.
Yeah.
And I was able to pre-order a Jackson action figure, and I'm super happy about that.
Oh,
anyone
man.
that does not know, Jackson the Green Rabbit, first found in Star Wars Comics number 8.
Wow. They're at the 50th anniversary for those toys?
I think it's for the toy. I think it's for the toy line. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, you're making a Jackson figure. I'll put it next to my other figures of not regular Star Wars character.
Yeah, that's pretty obscure. Those Black Series figures are really good, though. They do really
still have. I bought the whole Afra set, so I have.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Along with the 2 robots, and then the one that makes me laugh is I had to buy the Grogu.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's to size with the rest of the series.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's just jump into the news. Oh, speaking of Grogu, we're only a month away, or almost just 1 month away from the next Star Wars show. So that's
because
the Bad Batch comes out May 4th. Because I was talking about Star Wars with someone. They're like, I'm like, you don't have to wait that long. It comes out May 4th. So awesome. Speaking of TV shows, The Boys spinoff series has 3 more actors. Shane Paul McGee, Amy Carrero, and Maddie Phillips are playing students at Vought Industry School. So looks like they're adding more people. This is becoming a thing.
I
guess
these Boys spinoff news is anticlimactic because they're just saying they're playing students. Okay,
right.
Are they going to be characters from the comic?
Right, we don't know. Is one of them going to be Tech Knight? Who knows? That's all I want to really know. Let me know where Tech Knight's at. If this spinoff is how we get Tech Knight, then okay, I'll watch it.
I'll watch it either way because it's made by the same people and it might be enjoyable. I mean, if I watch 2 episodes and it's garbage, then it's gone. But I'll always check it.
CW's Naomi series now has its leading lady in Ava DuVernay. So, I don't know if there's speculation that she was going to play it, but that's and it's no coincidence that the Justice League book this week
we'll get into that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Naomi. It was like, wait a second. I mean, if you're looking forward to this show, I don't know. There's so many DC shows for me to check out now. That's I still got to catch up on Doom Patrol and Titans, and then maybe I'll get into this.
You know what is will keep me from watching the show more than anything else involved with it? And speaking of judging a book by its cover, listen to our interview later.
Yep.
It's a CW show. As soon as I see the CW logo, I'm just like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore.
No more Dawson's Creek for me. But yeah,
always,
and then
always Dawson's Creek for me.
Always Dawson's Creek. Disney Plus is adding a couple of hard to find Star Wars series to the service. This is pretty crazy news. These are things that we formerly thought didn't exist. Animated movies: Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure, Ewoks: The Battle for Endor, and The Story of the Faithful Wookiee are coming next month. The Story of the Faithful Wookiee is notable as it's a small part of the infamous Star Wars holiday special, but does not seem to hint at its return, since The Story of the Faithful Wookiee has been made available on previous DVD and Blu-ray releases. So this is like they're teetering close to the edge here that the holiday special exists, but
I think, if I remember correctly, this is like the one thing in the holiday special that Lucas is like, that's fine. Like, we can, let that exist.
yeah,
Everything else, burn it to hell.
yeah, it never happened. Yeah, so that's cool. I never watched the Ewok movies. I don't know if you have.
I have. They're fun. So the thing that's always lost on Star Wars fans is that Star Wars is a kids movie.
Yeah.
And that is blatantly obvious when you watch these Ewok movies. Like, remember that it's early 90s. It's geared towards kids who just watched or maybe it's 80s. Sorry, it's late 80s. It's geared towards kids who just watch Return of the Jedi and we're like, Ewoks rule.
Yeah.
Those kids are correct. And take it from there. Like, set your expectations for what those movies are, because that's what they are.
A kids movie about Ewoks.
That said, I enjoy them.
Yeah. Kingsley Ben-Adir is joining the Marvel Universe with co-leading a role in Secret Invasion. So, look forward to him.
Yeah, did you watch that movie he was just in? Where he played Malcolm X?
No.
Supposedly he's really good. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I think he was in... Where did I first see him? I think it was in an episode of Black Mirror. And he was really good. I remember. I know he's a good actor for sure. I did not watch the Malcolm X movie on HBO yet, but I heard he was good in it.
Yeah, so another good actor joining Marvel.
Surprise. Oh man, I'll get a 3-movie, 5-movie, 6-movie deal. Kevin Feige says that there's been talks and ideas discussed for a possible The Falcon and Winter Soldier season 2. So that was quick.
And well, I mean, we can jump into talk of the first episode.
Let's talk about the first episode.
This show really does lend itself more to a traditional television show, as WandaVision was really like, I don't think you can recreate that magic again.
Right. Yeah, that's not happening again.
Where this, I could see like, and they're teaming up again, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1, my only issue coming out of it was I don't think it was long enough. I wanted like 2 episodes because I kind of was waiting for something like, okay, let's get to the the meat and potatoes, but wasn't expecting a new Captain America so soon, I guess. That was a little interesting.
Which makes me laugh because I've seen that running around a lot online.
Yeah.
Where like, oh, they introduced new Captain America already?
Yeah.
It's and I'm not picking on you, Mike. I know you're not a big Marvel fan. But to some of the ones that tell me they're big Marvel fans, and I'm just like, you obviously have not read much Marvel, because anybody that knows the U.S. Agent story, he's introduced as the new Captain America,
right?
And then the events happen.
So you're just excited because we're going to get U.S. Agent. Yeah,
and I was a little disappointed that we didn't get Zemo in this episode, at least a glimpse of what's going on.
Yeah.
The Flag Smashers, I like them as villains, and I like their motivation there.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really enjoyed that first sequence with Falcon.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the best action sequences I've seen in a long time.
The fight scenes are awesome. It's like Winter Soldier style fight scenes, and I'm all down for that for sure.
Yeah, and to tear the Falcons portion of the episode apart, like, I really enjoyed the fight scene. Him going back home, like, I enjoyed some of the backdrop of like what life is when they're not in a suit,
Yeah.
but I could have done without that part. Like, that's
Yeah.
like the one thing in this episode I really did not really enjoy. And then the Bucky stuff, I loved every second of it. I loved
Yeah.
going back to the Red Room, seeing him in therapy, and the fact that he's got to like make amends with everybody, and then actually show him making amends with the first person. And then it broke my heart when we found out why he was hanging out with that old Japanese man the whole time.
Right.
I literally was just like, oh, because when I first saw it and they were talking, I was like, oh, it's an old buddy from Brooklyn. Like, he still talks to an old friend.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, oh yeah, that's about the right age, right? So.
And then the reveal hit, and I was like, oh man,
yeah,
Bucky.
Also, seeing the Bucky with the short hair, I mean, he was great, fantastic in this episode. Looking at him, I'm like, why have you not made this guy Luke Skywalker yet? He looks so much like Mark Hamill, it's crazy. Like, how have you not given this guy a Luke Skywalker show? But I mean, that was my only gripe about it, but he was amazing. I thought, I can't wait to see them team up. We don't get to see them team up yet, so.
Yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed the episode because it brought in a lot of like things that I've been reading for most of my life.
Yep.
Anyone that didn't pick it up, the soldier that's helping Sam out that he meets when I think they were in the Middle East somewhere. I don't remember.
The guy with the cell phone that does selfies and stuff.
Yeah, he ends up getting beat up by the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
So in the comics, he becomes Falcon.
Oh, okay.
So I think this show culminates in Sam getting the shield.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah.
And I think it'd be cool if the setup for season 2 was, and he hands over the Falcon wings to this kid.
Yeah. Yep.
So
what? Oh man, I just got goosebumps thinking about like Captain America 4 movie with Sam at the helm after the show. Like,
I'm down for that. Like, I like Sam as Cap. I did.
Oh yeah.
He brought a whole different feel to that character.
Also, Don Cheadle was not expecting to see a War Machine in this episode, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was strange. When I saw him in the sitting while Sam's giving the speech, I was like, what's Don Cheadle doing here?
Yeah, what's he doing here? And then he starts, talking Avengers stuff, and I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, he's getting his own show, right? So they had to remind us of that. But no, I mean, overall, it was good. I just want more. I mean, still a whole movie of this. Give me more.
And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was a great palate cleanser. So if you weren't really into WandaVision, or you were really into WandaVision, and you didn't want another heady thing like that, it was a great palate cleanser, kind of by the numbers, action, espionage show with a cool little twist at the end that got me coming back for next week.
Yeah. Movie news. During
my favorite news.
Yeah, this is actually relevant to the third Thor movie, right?
Yeah.
Where if anybody remembers, he's playing Xbox against Noob Master 69. During an ad for Xbox Game Pass featuring Falcon, the identity for Noob Master 69 was revealed, and it's some random guy working at a local game store. That's pretty funny. I like that they did that. Yeah.
I love it for multiple reasons. One, because it kind of puts an end to this Who's Noob Master 69.
Yeah, right.
And also, it just takes it sucks the wind out of all the fanboys who are just like, it's Deadpool or it's so-and-so.
Right.
It's like, no, just some random dickhead that works at GameStop or whatever local game store.
Which makes sense.
I was that dickhead one time.
Yep. Yeah, you were there. SnyderCut talk. Okay, so listen, we're not going to pick this apart scene by scene because there's 4 hours of movie here. Okay, big key points. Is it better than the Joss Whedon cut? Yes. I think we both agree there. We could both agree there's a lot more characterization for Steppenwolf, Cyborg,
Mm-hmm.
The Flash. I will say, coming out of this movie, we got a lot of extra scenes with the Flash. We got some time travel scenes with Flash, which is pretty cool. But I really like Ezra Miller as the Flash after the. I don't know if he just grew on me after all those scenes. I really like. I mean, imagine giving Cyborg some character in this next installment of the movie, and it was like, oh shit, like yeah, he's a person too. So I could see where he would be pissed that a lot of his scenes weren't in the original movie. I mean, like they cut most of his scenes, is what I realized. And then the Steppenwolf thing, the villain. I mean, his armor was a lot cooler. It like moves with his emotions, stuff like that. But his motivation for in the movie is like he's trying to suck up to Darkseid because he's basically a little bitch, and he was a traitor to Darkseid once, and then he's like, oh well, I'm kind of shitty and weak on my own, so let me take advantage of a Kryptonian being dead, and then take over the planet. And I like the resolution that like, oh yeah, the Kryptonian's back and he's gonna kick your ass, and you can't really do anything about it. Overall, I mean, I think I give it an 8 out of 10. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. Is it the best DC movie? No. That's Shazam, obviously. But there's a lot of slow mo. There's too much slow mo. I will like Zack Snyder. We know you like slow mo, but dude, that's a lot of slow. I get it for the Flash scene, right? The slow mo makes sense for the Flash scene, but then you're telling me everybody's got Flash powers. You know what I mean? Like, is everybody in the Speed Force in this movie? Yeah.
My problem is so everyone knows I don't like Flash,
right?
And there's too much Flash. Even for somebody who likes Flash, there's too much Flash. I disagree with you on the Ezra Miller. I still don't like him as Flash.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to like.
Yeah, it. I don't like jittery, like over caffeinated Flash. I mean, I get it. It makes sense to an extent, but like, I don't know. I just don't like it. Yeah. And I think all in all, other than that, like I liked Cyborg more. I thought the fight scenes were really great. I liked the characterization of everyone you just said. The Steppenwolf stuff was the biggest improvement. Like the fact that he has a motivation. Yeah. And there's a reason that he's here, and it's not just, ooh, shiny mother box, give me.
Right. Yeah, the whole dialogue was different because if you remember, like Steppenwolf shows up and he doesn't even address the Amazons. He's just like, oh, mother, and he's like, it's like he refers to the mother box as his mother, and there was none of that weird shit dialogue happening. If you remember, parademons preyed on fear, because they had to show that with that weird Russian family sequence. They don't prey on fear. That's not how Steppenwolf dies this time. He gets decapitated and then curb stomped by Darkseid. That's another thing. The Darkseid scenes were pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
As somebody who did not enjoy the Darkseid like look. Yeah. When I was seeing the trailers, I liked it much more in the movie, and which is weird because it's the same, but I just liked it more.
I liked the scene of them peering through the boom tube and Darkseid is there. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, because that's such a great moment because it was kind of like I'll be back, you know. Like,
yeah. But I won't.
You may have got me this time, kids, but not next time.
Anti-life equation, that wasn't even brought up in the original movie, so that was kind of nice to hear a little bit of that.
Yeah, I'll say I thought the whole Martian Manhunter thing was a little unnecessary. I mean, yeah, he's brought it up that, and I respect what he said. He said the reason I did that and the reason I left it the way I left it was because I was tasked with go make the movie you were going to make. Right. And the movie I was going to make was going to be this. It's going to lead Justice League 2. So I respect that, but it was a little disappointing. I want to get this off my chest. I said it in the live stream, but I'll say it here too. All these people who are out there on Twitter saying like this forgives all the sins of Jared Leto, Joker, and Suicide Squad. That's a stupid opinion. I don't care. I really I hate when people say that, like your opinion's wrong, but like I really don't like that opinion because A, I thought the Joker scene was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And B, you can never forgive Suicide Squad in my eyes. That will always be a blight on
Like,
comic book movies.
You don't think that they score little points for making a reach around joke?
I did give him credit for that. I always appreciate a good reach around joke.
A good reach around joke? Yeah. And Batman saying, "I'll fucking kill you." I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
I will say though, I will never be used to or necessarily okay with Batman with an assault rifle.
Yeah, that just looks weird. It looks like he's like at an airsoft party or something. I will say, so the last scene with like Bruce and Martian Manhunter, you could tell that this was filmed way after because at the end of the movie, Bruce Wayne loses like 40 pounds of mass, and this is definitely like nothing against Ben Affleck, but this is like post like recovery Ben Affleck because he's like skin and bones.
Well, he's not gonna get back in shape for this.
Right. But it was like, oh, so they did shoot some scenes with him, but and then him talking to Martian Manhunter, he's like, they call me Martian Manhunter, and then he pieces out. I'm like, nobody calls you that, dude. Like,
plus, if I was Bruce Wayne, okay, you're just meeting this random alien thing,
right?
That looks something straight out of the movies of like what comes from Mars, and he's like, and they call me Martian Manhunter. I'd be like, wait, did you say Manhunter?
Yeah,
like
there's nothing weird about that name. Like,
it sounds like a bad guy name. Yeah. Like we just had Darkseid, now we got Manhunter.
Yeah.
All my criticism aside, I'm with you. I did enjoy my time with it.
It was a good watch.
Yeah. I do recommend anybody go out and watch it. What I would recommend though is what Mike did, not what I did.
Yeah.
Which is cut it into like 4 pieces.
Yep, for sure.
And watch it over a period of time, as opposed to like forcing yourself with your hands like this to watch it for 4 hours because you got to do a live stream the next day.
Yep. I'll put it like this. It's like when you order a large cheese pizza for yourself. You could eat the whole pizza in one sitting. You'll like the pizza, you'll love the pizza, but you'll feel like shit after and be like, it was a good idea at the time, but I shouldn't have done that. But if you take the pizza, you eat like half of it, and then you save the rest for like maybe lunch the next day and lunch the day after, you're like, I'm glad I did this. And it's still the same pizza. It's a little lukewarm. I didn't heat it up in the oven because I had to, do some other shit, but like, it's still the same pizza that I had, and you don't feel like shit. So take that, kids, and run with it.
As a fat man that does that a lot, his analogy works.
Thanks. I do it too. And with that, let's jump to this awesome interview with Jay Sandlin. Hello. Welcome back to the other side. So please check out Jay Sandlin, his website, all the things he's doing, all the cool stuff. And we got a lot of comic book news to dig through. Let's file it away and get through it. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Kickstarter announced that they're partnering with bookshop.org to create a space to sell successful crowdfunded comics and books. This partnership will give independent creators a new place to market and sell their products after their crowdfunding campaigns are finished. I think this is a great idea.
I totally agree with you for a couple reasons. One, I think the one thing that Kickstarter fails at that Indiegogo succeeds at is the after the campaign, whatever they call it, the extended, like being able to buy the
archives book or something. I forget what it's called. Yeah.
And I think this is a great way for Kickstarter to do that, to kind of push the books over there and say you can pre-order them here. Like, this book was successful, go pre-order it over there. It gives creators a chance to say, hey, we were successful in our funding, we're going to be able to print the books, but then they can come on a show like this and be like, yeah, we funded, but we're going to be over on bookshop.org. You can still pre-order it. And when they come in, I'll be able to send them all out together.
Yeah.
I love this announcement. I'm so happy for it. For all the creators out there.
Because I'm just going to be going on bookshop.org and like looking at the comics they got for sale, I'm excited for that.
And I want to say, he wasn't directly a guest on the show, but somebody who was on the show is like the first image you see in the announcement, their book.
Oh.
And it's Russell Nolte, who was on our Cthulhu Invades Oz special.
Oh, awesome. Good for him. Yeah.
His really book, cool. Ichabod Jones, is going to be one of the ones on there. So
very cool. Not to be outdone by DC, Marvel is also celebrating Pride Month, as they should, with a one-shot comics titled Marvel Voices Pride #1. Much like DC Pride, this comic will spotlight some of Marvel's LGBTQ plus characters from creators like Kieran Gillen, Steve Orlando, Teenie Howard, Javier Garron, and more. Awesome. So I think that's great. We talked about this last episode. Yeah, and like those are some good writers. You know.
Yeah. And I love the Marvel Voices line. Like, I don't pick them up that often because most of the time they're not directed at me.
Right.
And they don't have characters I really care about. But I like that line because they've been doing it now, what they did Indigenous people, so Native Americans. And I think they did one for Women's, but Women's Month.
Yep.
So I think it's a cool line and good, do that. Like, you know, spotlight some of these characters because... Like we talked about in the Pride one, like who was it?
Midnighter.
Like, I had no clue.
Yeah, because part of the Midnighter story with Steve Orlando is he has a relationship with Apollo. Yeah. Yep.
So I think it's cool. I like it.
Marvel Comics has announced its plans for a new Predator series. They had acquired the rights a while ago, right? And nothing came of it.
Last year, so it would have been beginning of this year. Beginning of last year was the beginning of it, sorry.
Yep. The ongoing comic will take place after the film series and is written by Ed Bryson and art by Kev Walker. Ed Bryson's a writer. That's and so take place after the film series. So this is like after Predator 1 and 2, I would guess.
See, I haven't seen the most recent because there's 2 Predator movies that are recent, right?
Oh, I watched one of them. Oh no, I did watch.
Because one was a Robert Rodriguez movie. And I can't remember the other. I don't know. I'm not a big Predator fan. I like the first Predator because Arnold rules.
Right. And I like the second Predator because Danny Glover.
That is correct, too.
Yeah. Other than that,
I'm not a big Predator fan. And the Alien book is coming out this week. And I think I discussed it 1,000 times. But like the only reason I even care about that one is because it's got a creator that I absolutely adore writing it. And nothing against Ed Brisson, but you haven't reached that absolutely adore list yet.
If it was Donny Cates writing Predator, Chris would be all over that shit.
Yes. Give me 4.
Yeah, there. Immortal Hulk is getting a spin-off series from Al Ewing and Crystal Frazier with art by Land Medina. The series will follow the team created in the pages of Immortal Hulk called Gamma Flight, and the series will take the name Gamma Flight. So, makes sense.
Yeah, Gamma Flight's a cool team. It's a lot of, if you follow Al Ewing through Marvel, and I like that Marvel does this. You'll notice with Marvel creators, they have like characters they like that follow through their stories. And it's never like, it's not like Al likes Captain America, so he ends up in all of his books. It's like Al likes Puck, so Puck just finds a way in all of his books.
Yep.
So it's all those little characters that he's kind of gathered through that book to be this team. And Immortal Hulk's good, so check it out.
Yeah, pretty popular book. This is pretty cool. Zack Snyder said in an interview that him and Jim Lee have talked about finishing the Snyderverse in comics. They planned on getting the ball rolling before the DC/AT&T layoffs, but was shelved due to those events. Snyder and Lee said the project could be revived if the fan support was there to make it happen. I'm already seeing hashtags finish the Snyderverse, and I think this is probably the best way to do it as a comic. I'll read it for sure. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I didn't want to say this when we were talking about Snyder Cut, because I want to save it for here.
Yeah.
My biggest disappointment with Snyder Cut was that the fact that I liked it, and then I knew that we're never going to get the Batman versus Deathstroke movie. We're never going to get Justice League 2.
Yeah.
I understand the reaction, and I kind of, at this point, with what DC Films is, I agree. I would rather have that Snyderverse than what we have now with DC.
Right.
But I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think it's a lost cause. And this is the best way to do it. And some of the stuff he's talked about, doing Justice League 2 and 3, doing a solo Batman book that would be about what happened between Batman and Joker and how Robin died.
Yep.
These are things I would really like. So
yeah, I would read the crap out of that. So I mean, we saw it with they're doing a continuation of Batman 1989. Like,
yeah,
so it can happen.
especially if Jim Lee did the art.
Oh yeah, please. Black Hammer's coming back with Jeff Lemire. What? And artist Caitlin Yarsky. The series is called Black Hammer Reborn and will continue after the events of Age of Doom. Sign me up.
Caitlin Yarsky, a upstate New Yorker who lives in Buffalo right now.
Nice. Represent.
I'm so happy Black Hammer's back.
Yeah. With Jeff Lemire, yeah.
With Jeff Lemire. Like the Visions book I've been disappointed with, but they're still fun.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to follow Black Hammer's daughter, who got the hammer at the end of Age of Doom.
Yep.
And more Black Hammer.
Yeah, like to leave it on a cliffhanger like that, you piece of crap, Jeff Lemire. Come on, dude. I even read that series. I was like, dude, how are you going to leave me there? You know?
Yeah. And I like the solo books he's been doing. Because what comes out this week? Barbalian.
Yeah, Barbalian. Yeah.
Really good, but like it's not
Black Hammer.
Yeah, it's not that story. So
yeah. Previously announced Archie Mighty Crusaders relaunch with Rob Liefeld now has its release date and title. The first comic to come of this is coming in June and will be called The Mighty Crusaders: The Shield #1. The Shield, for those who don't know, is a patriotic superhero who ironically doesn't carry a shield and was originally launched 3 years before Captain America. Interesting.
I really don't like. Not Leifeld the person. Leifeld's art.
Yeah. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, but I like Mighty Crusaders. I like the Shield. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. I'm gonna meditate on this and whether I'm gonna buy it or not, and let everybody know.
Yeah.
We'll smoke a doobie and meditate.
There you
go.
Try
to figure it out.
Go to the top of the mountain and find, I don't know, become one with the universe. Cullen Bunn has a new comic series coming from Dark Horse Comics with artist Andrea Moody called Parasomnia. The series is said to be a horror fantasy series in which a man searches for his lost son in the most dangerous realm to face off against the Faceless Queen. Sounds awesome. Sign me the hell up.
Love Andrea Moody art.
Yeah, and we love some Cullen Bunn and dark fantasy against a Faceless Queen. Yeah, it sounds like a metal album.
I'm down for this.
Yeah,
like the horror thing. Horror is obviously an acquired taste for me,
right?
But I love Andrew. I love Colin too. Like Colin, you're my boy. I love you.
Yeah.
But I will read anything Andrew Moody does because I just love his art.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I could be wrong, but I think he did the book with. Oh man. I'm losing the Dark Horse book about the rebels, about Revolutionary wartime.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
Yep, I do remember that. Yeah, the art is so good. And with that, let's talk about what we read this week.
Yeah. I read comics. What about you?
Me too. I actually had only a couple. Watching 4 hours of a movie really kind of cut into my time here. Okay, so Justice League number 59, Bendis, Dave Marquez. I liked the whole Dragon Ball Z style of like bad dude shows up in Kahndaq and talks about power levels and shit and just tries to like, was that the vibe you got from this issue? Was like straight up, it's a Dragon Ball Z episode, which isn't a bad thing. Like if that's what my Justice League is going to be for like 10 issues, fuck yeah, like sign me up.
Sorry, I'm laughing because that's exactly how I felt. And
it was totally a Dragon Ball Z episode. Like this dude is Captain Ginyu, man. Like he even has the horns and everything.
Please give me an episode. Please give me an issue, Bendis. Listen, give me one issue that's all the sidekicks on a random island that has to save orphans. That has nothing to do with the rest of the story.
Yep. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so basically the bad guy shows up, he fights Black Adam, and then the Justice League shows up. It's like, all right, Black Adam, you can stop pretending to be a good guy. We'll take it from here. The Nth Metal in Hawkgirl's mace reacts with the creature, and long story short, they can't find the creature belongs on their planet anywhere, like it's not part of their universe, but then they find out it's related to Naomi, so it might be New Gods related. And then they show Naomi at the end, and Black Adam finds her before the Justice League does. So he knew it before the Justice League did. So there's definitely something going on here. I don't know if it's New Gods related. I mean, I'm expecting it to be because Naomi's part of it, right? So it seemed like just a way to shoehorn Naomi into a mainstream story.
Well, it's Naomi's Bendis' creation, so of course it's going to be. The things I really liked here, one, that you didn't mention, the Green Arrow, like the backstory there, where he's like, we need to bring more people into the Justice League.
Oh, yeah, right.
Just makes me like giggle because I think of old Justice League where it's just like everybody's in the Justice League.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's what I want.
Which I'm fine with, yeah, like I like, but it just made me laugh. And then the greatest scene in all this book was the shark tsunami that
yes.
Aquaman creates.
Yeah.
I actually really love the pacing of the battle because he gave everybody their moment.
And that's important in a Justice League book. You don't see that all the time. So.
Yeah. So I thought he had a really strong first issue coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for Bendis, who, as a Bendis apologist myself, struggles with team books.
Yeah, and I think this is great. And the Aquaman, the Sharknado, come on, like, sold. And then we got the Justice League Dark story with Ram V and Zermanico on the art. This was a story of Merlin returning and talking about how like he needs to propel the world into their new destiny, which doesn't sound good for the world at all. No. Zatanna and Constantine are looking for a cult that they're trying to summon an angel or a demon, but they summon both at the same time, and like what comes of both of them being summoned, like Jason Blood appears out of like thin air. He's the one that's summoned, so Jason Blood is back. Something's happening. I mean, there's some type of event happening that's related to magic and heaven and earth, or heaven and hell. So, I mean, I'm interested in what's happening. I don't know much about Merlin, but I do like Justice League Dark, so I'm glad that it's added along to the Justice League story.
So funny you say that. I wish it wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's there. You don't have to read it, but
well, my reason I wish it wasn't there, because what DC's doing is they're jacking the price and giving us 2 books in one to sell it out. So for me, I would rather go back to buying my $2.99. What is this one?
$4.99.
Yeah, $4.99, and then they're jacking up to like $5.99 soon. So I'd rather pay my $2.99 for $3.99 for just Justice League.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm not a Justice League Dark guy. Like,
okay.
So
that makes sense. Yeah. Snow Angels #2. This is Jeff Lemire and Jock. We left off in the first issue with the whole village being killed by this like snowman android. Basically, they say we have to get a move on and try to get to the edge of the what do they call it? The trench. There's all these stories of like nobody's ever made it past the wolves and the bears, but obviously they have to try to get past the wolves and the bears. But as the children and the dad are trying to make it to safety, they see the snowman. They're like, screw it. We got to get into the woods and try to get through the other side because he's going to kill us. The dad gets bit by a wolf and tells the 2 younger girls to run and leave him there. So I'm interested to see like what happens when they get to the other side. Like what is this world? How did we get here? Kind of thing. I think it's good so far though.
Did you ever play the game Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, I haven't.
Okay, spoilers for anyone who hasn't played that game, but it's been long enough. You're not going to play it, so we get this realized world where like humans are kind of living in these almost Native American-esque ways of like they're in these tents and and these communities and living off the land. But then there's dinosaurs that are made out of their robots. So we're like, what the fuck's going on? We ended up finding out that like a calamity happened and these machines were able to recreate themselves and create themselves into these creatures to kind of possess the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for that moment of like when we get the two girls are just like, all right, we stumbled onto some of that technology that we saw in issue 1, and maybe we get into a ship or something. It's like, okay, so this is what the old world was, and it's not magic, it's actually something else, and this and that. And so far, these 2 issues in, I've been kind of, it's an okay book. It's not like
Right.
on the top of my list. And not every book can be great, but I'm just waiting for that moment to push me over the edge. Be like, okay, I see the world you're creating now. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more. That's all I got to read this week. So
Okay. I get to read a little bit more. I got Radiant Black #2. This is, I mean, it's a continuation of Radiant Black #1, where we got at the end of Radiant Black #1, there was somebody else who found one of those little black holes and got a suit, and that person decided to go rob banks.
Oh, okay.
So what does our hero decide to do? Let's go find him and ask him questions. And he gets into his first superhero fight.
Oh, awesome.
And I mean, that's basically it. Like, he's kind of along the way trying to figure out not only who he is, because personally, like, he's unemployed, he's in debt, but he still like feels like he wants to be a writer. But then as this superhero, he's like figuring out how the suit works and what the powers are and what he can do with it. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying this book. It's, like I said, it's scratching that invincible itch just a little bit. And I'm enjoying it for that. So I'm going to keep going with it.
Nice.
Actually, I'm going to jump to this Captain America Anniversary Tribute issue #1.
Oh.
So this collects, it recreates Captain America Comics #1, the 2 stories in it, which is Meet Captain America and the Riddle, the Red Skull, and then Avengers #4, in which Captain America is thawed out of the ice and joins the Avengers. So they're not new stories. They're stories I've read 1,000 times, but it's got art from everybody, from John Cassidy to Leanne Francis Yu to Mark Bagley and so on and so forth. So every like page or 2 is a new artist. And I didn't read it cover to cover, but I kind of like went through and just looked at the art because, once again, it's like, you know, you've read Detective Comics 27 how many times? Like,
yeah,
you know
right.
the story, right?
Yeah.
And what I'll say is it was a well-realized, beautiful retelling and tribute to these stories. It doesn't look like they changed the story at all. A lot of the dialogue's the same, so some of it's a little wonky because it's 1930s, 1940s comics. But it's really good, and then to kind of upgrade the art, just kind of put it over the edge for me. So I absolutely loved it. If you're a Captain America fan or you're interested in those stories to see where that character came from, I think it's a great way to do it because it's more modern art with that classic story. So I just love this book.
Awesome.
Thor #13, which is part 5 of the Prey story. So we got Odin. He's sitting in this bar, kind of drowning his sorrows away. And Valkyrie finds him and says, "You need to come help us save your son." Long story short, he does. And in the meantime, Thor's down in that other dimension trying to find his way out when he calls upon the ravens of Odin to help him. And they tell him, "We can't bring you out of here, but we can bring your soul out of here. You just need to possess somebody when you get there." And he says, "Okay, that's fine. I got an idea." And then we cut back to the real world where Valkyrie and Odin have assembled all the different Thors, including Beta Ray Bill and Throg and so on and so forth, to come fight against this menace. And just as they're starting to fight and get the beat down, all of a sudden, here comes Thor, and he's possessed the Destroyer armor.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
So that's how they end the issue, is with him in the Destroyer armor with the rune symbol on his chest.
That's pretty cool.
It's so good. I love Thor. Everybody should read Thor. You should read anything Donnie writes because it's all awesome. And then read Atlantis #5, which I won't go too deep into, but it's the last issue of that series. It was a nice little wrap up to the series. We get kind of more of the backstory of where the lead character came from, how she's connected to the Russian government, and kind of her decision at the end, which I really loved her decision at the end of what she's going to do with the rest of her life, because a lot of this issue is people trying to push her in a certain direction, and then what she ends up doing is really cool. Awesome. 5 issues, Red Atlantis is an awesome series. Stephanie Phillips, obviously we have a little bit of bias, but I don't care. She writes good comics, so check it out. So that is all I had this week. Mike, where can people find you on that internet?
They can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
Well, they can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter, or the show at FortressComics_. Also at FortressComicNews.com, where everything we do is right there on that handy dandy website. Remember, everybody, if you're listening to us, to give us a 5-star review or the highest review on whatever podcatcher you use. And if you are watching this show, to like, subscribe, and share. Also comment down below and let us know what you're thinking of the show and what comments you have about the show. And if you want to be that extra super special awesome listener, go to Patreon at patreon.com/FortressComics. Everybody, thanks so much for listening this week, and we will see you all next week.